GMB Pro families, GMB Pro family, welcome once again. We have our special guest Steven here. We were just talking. I said, "Wow, let me pause it and hit play here real quick." So I want to welcome everybody, Rafael, that's here in the live. Those that are catching the replay, I appreciate you guys' support. Today's topic is really dear to my heart, right? Especially these last few days with Black Friday, Christmas sales, there's a lot of tools, there's a lot of specials going out there, which are great. I love it. You get to come in on the great deals. But a lot of times what we fail to do is like, okay, if we have the tools, it's awesome, but we need to feel it and apply it to customers, right? Like, how do we make this work for our customers in SEO? That's why when I approached Steven, he's like, hey, SEO and sales, beautiful. Like, it's like I'm like, it spoke to my heart. I think it could help everybody that it's in our niche, right? As far as marketers and because that's the most important, right? We can have the best tools, the best method, but if we don't have like clients to apply this to, if we don't have customers, like and that's really why I want to tie in like today's topic. It's wonderful. Now, Stephen, I kind of do this in reverse with our guests. I'm going to let you kind of introduce yourself. I know we were talking a little bit. You're in Poland. It's funny how everybody's story is, hey, I came to visit Poland, and that was 7 years ago. I'm still visiting, right? So, if you can introduce yourself, tell us how you got to this point, your journey, where you're at, and tell our family GMB Pros a little bit about you.
Yeah, would love to, mate. First of all, thank you very much for having me on here. Really honored. I think I owe an apology to you and your audience, having this rescheduled. So, guys, massive apologies. I hope by the end of this chat here, people can perhaps take away a couple of knowledge nuggets where perhaps it changes their mentality, approach when it comes to sales. A bit about myself. So I'm the head of English markets for a marketing platform called WhitePress. We currently operate in around 28 countries, global reach. We got 12 physical offices around the world, annual revenue going upwards of 30 million euros. We've been in the business 11 years. But what we do within SEO is very specific. It's all about link building, digital PR, and a little bit of Harrow kind of thrown in and there. But link building, what I mean by that is niche edits, guest posting, and a lot of digital PR is our core product. That's what we do. Um, and as Alfredo was saying, I've been in Poland for the last 8 years. Moved here because my missus is Polish. I've enjoyed every second of me being in Poland. Cost of living is smashing, perfect for seasons. The gin and tonic is incredibly cheap. So anyone, guys, wanting to have a fantastic holiday in Europe, think of Poland, think of Krakow. So yeah, that's a bit about myself.
Awesome. I appreciate that. So WordPress, link building, PR, 12 offices. That is huge. 11 years. So that's awesome. So it's fair to say, guys, we should listen, right? Steve knows a little bit, right? And that and I can appreciate that from him. So Steven, SEO and sales. How does our people marry that? What's the approach that you take on with that?
Sure. I'm going to obviously, give in my input based on the success I've had, and I'll kind of give a brief snapshot of the journey we've had. But we're a very little part of SEO. As I said, link building. And believe it or not, I'm not even an SEO by trade. I've only been in SEO a year and a half. My background's been running Michelin star restaurants back in the UK, multi-million pound businesses, worked with Gordon Ramsay for upwards of 5 years. This was me fresh out of uni. So what I tried doing was very simple. Anything which I saw was a transferable approach, strategy, I bought that over within SEO. Obviously, learned the trade, what is a do follow link, what is a niche edit, what is a guest post, indexing, all of that. I had to put all of that into digestible pitches, um, in order to simplify every conversation I was having with a potential lead. But obviously, it's not as simple as I'm saying it is, because there's a lot of groundwork which kind of goes into it. And the story here is, when I joined, this was March 2022, my journey from one client giving us £500 every month to what I finished last month, doing £500,000 month on month for the last 11 months now, over 100 active clients. And I think the journey is a lot more spectacular, considering we guys don't do tech SEO at all. As I said, I'm not an SEO guy. White Press has got nothing off page. As I said, it's very much about link building. And I think you guys would appreciate and know the reputation of link building within the SEO world is in absolute tatters. It's like every random Tom, Dick, and Harry considers themselves to be an SEO expert and comes in, wanting to sell uh, links to you, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
So it was really hard first breaking through the trust barrier. So I think it'll make more sense, if you allow me to kind of. I've got a very short presentation here, and it's not really death by PowerPoint, because I don't want to bore your audience. But if you allow me, I can share my screen, show a little bit about what I did in terms of groundwork, making sure I had an exhaustive lead generation pipeline, and then how I pivoted and grew the agency from where we are right now.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, Stephen. And if you can tell us a little bit more, I would love to dive into that mindset, because I find that a lot with at the beginning where we don't know anything. So we go into learning and we learn the thing, right? Whatever the thing, niche, whatever the thing in marketing is. And then we go to like doing the thing. And sometimes we get into this like rabbit hole, right? Like get all technical. And the reality is like it's good, it's important. You can speak on it, you can get confidence, you can get conviction when you're talking to a business that you want to help. But sometimes it's like that connection, like how you said, you want to simplify those things because the client really doesn't care. You know, Harry, is he getting limos, calls? Raphael, is he getting window replacement calls, right? Like that's all these guys really care about, and yes, all the other stuff is important, but like it sounds like you went one customer, £500, and then you went through that mindset. Can you tell us more about, hey, how do I simplify this to get through that process? What was
Sure,
that mindset like?
sure. Just to kind of begin with, one of my mentors said to me within the SEO world, Steve, never sell SEO, sell the end result. And that is so true, because
Yes.
a lot of people end up talking too much crap about technical SEO, assuming that the other side also has got equal knowledge of SEO. And SEO, gents, we all know that SEO, no matter which bloke you speak to, has got a completely different perception of SEO. And every time you ask, a standard answer was, okay, so I'm going to spend all of that money. What do I expect in return? Is it going to move the needle? I guarantee you, 8 out of 10 times, the people say, well, it depends on a lot of factors. And that's where I put my head in. I said, guys, seriously, you're wanting a gentleman or a lady to invest millions of pounds of their marketing budget on all you're selling is an apparent it depends or a dream. So, yes, it's important to have that technical know how of how quickly your page would rank. And I know a lot of that depends on Master Google. I call them Master Google or the Pied Piper, because a lot of people literally blindly follow what Google says. But clearly, uh, another thing we do in house as we test a lot of these theories or announcements Google comes up with. And I'm going to throw one out now. Google, everyone's popular theory is no follow link, no matter which publication is, does not pass any link juice. Absolute bunch of bollocks. That is so far away from truth, because if it's, and I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. We did a test a few months ago with Kyle Roof, and I'm sure a lot of your audience would know who Kyle Roof is. Me and another agency, and we did a test to identify on a brand new website we'd built in house. Okay, if we do in certain link building and we targeted certain no follow websites very relevant to the niche. Of course, they were high DA and DR. We're talking 70 DA, DR, 70 DA plus. We're talking good amount of traffic there. But we were testing the theory there. And the results we got back, the page was ranking. So the relevance of what you have read out on the internet or what Google's saying, don't take it on face value. Go ahead, go back, do your groundwork, see how relevant that is. And it kind of ties in with me when I took over the English markets at Ypress. We had a massive marketing team, and I said, all right guys, tell me about the market reality. How does the landscape there looks like? They said, actually we've not done any market analysis. We got absolutely bloody no idea. And I remember going into my first management meeting and saying to my leadership, guys, give me 3 months. I'll either give you a lot of feedback or I'll give you a lot of business. And that's all I could have done. So for me, it was quite important what you're talking about. The mindset is, of course, educated myself. But what I did was I targeted lots of link building platforms or agencies out in the UK, and UK in particular, because that was kind of my home market to start with. And I tried, what I did was I took my marketing budget. I said, do not spend a single bloody penny on Google ads or Facebook ads. I'm going to run these campaigns with some other link building agencies just for our WordPress's website. I want to see what value am I getting for my money. And a lot of things came very clear to me. The websites these guys were offering, not one of these agencies had actually gone out and done a direct relationship with all these website owners. So you had 2 or 3 resellers before it actually came back to me or to the poor paying client. What it does was X4 in terms of the pricing when it comes back to you. Editorial guidelines were not updated. Turnaround times were abysmal, like links going live within 4 weeks. But most importantly, order completion rate. So if people were giving out a campaign for about 30 links, people were coming back with 47% order completion rate. And I was tying all of that down back to my restaurant time, and I was saying, hang on a second. I know we're doing links here, but clearly if I have to literally take that campaign based on the amount of dishes a specific table is ordering or drinks, and I'm coming back in the middle of the campaign, oh, by the way, the steaks you ordered, the shepherd's pie you ordered, and the pizza you ordered, we don't have that suddenly. How is that person going to react? Of course, he's going to laugh me out. He's going to walk up and leave. I've lost the client. But obviously, going out and talking about us, that's more damage to it. So I took all of that and I did that for a first month and a half, 2 months. I gathered lots of that market know-how. Okay, how does the market look like? I compared that with my inventory in WordPress of the 50 odd thousand websites I had, and guess I was exactly the same as I was with any other link building agency. I had millions of resellers. The pricing was all over the place. Editorial guidelines was absolutely shambolic. So I did a bold step, which I encourage lots of business owners to do it. Just because everyone's doing it does not mean it's the right way of doing it. All I did was I kicked out overnight 6,000 websites from my inventory. My leadership was ringing me at 1 in the morning saying, Steve, what the F? What is going on here? You've kicked out majority of our inventory, the English websites. And I said, I did tell you, I'm not going to wait for more brand damage to happen, because what was happening was I was onboarding clients. They were coming onto the platform and they were seeing the inventory, which was full of absolute crap. There were PBNs, spam score was ridiculous, toxicity score. It was just dreadful, mate. Absolute dreadful. Just the platform was fantastic, but the actual recipe to build a website's credibility or moving the needle through linking was just shambolic. What I did was, okay, I went out in the market, I hired one of the perfect link building operations managers who's done that for donkey's ears. I got him on board. I told him, my friend, this is what your target is. Within the first quarter, we're going to onboard another 4.5, 5,000 websites, but it has to be direct relationships with the publishers. And the benefits we got were we drove the price down by doing some bulk orders with them. So if you were a website owner and you're giving me 100 quid for niche edits or guest posting, I was offering him £10. And the guy's saying, mate, the only way possible for that is if you offer me a bulk order of 20 upfront. We had the financial backing to do that. We did it. We became client number one for them. And the additional benefits we got was because we were the best client for any of those websites, our turnaround times, which are still the quickest on the planet, is 72 working hours compared to the industry standard, which is 3 to 4 working weeks. So the ROI on your investment, waiting for Google to index your links, and hopefully that's going to move the needle, that was suddenly shortened because the links were going live a lot quicker. Then on top of that, there was another insight I got was a lot of these SEO agencies or brands, they had an army of people who they'd hired to outreach, build these links, do a lot of research. And if you allow me, let me share my screen and I'll show you quite a interesting data we got out. Not sure if you can see my screen. Not yet. You can? I think you're on mute, Alfredo.
I see, I'm sorry, I see myself
Yeah.
in the Zoom meeting itself. I take it that's what's on your
Brilliant.
screen.
Excellent. Excellent.
There we go. Yep.
Excellent. Let me just bring up. Excellent. Bear with me. Looks like the internet's got a bit spotty, but should come up. Not that one. There you go. So we did again a further market analysis with the help, of course, by marketing team. We would check in with all the SEO experts and we ran a proper campaign trying to understand, okay, when it comes to SEO, what's the amount of time people are spending on every project or campaign they're running? You know, SEO basics, 5 hours. Technical SEO, sky's the limit, but on ballpark figure, 50 hours one time plus 10 hours to be repeated periodically. Further on-site optimization, 20 hours. Content writing, 160 hours. And then link building, a further 160 hours. Why that was happening is because the examples of tasks for content creators or distributors, they got to tick all these boxes here. You know, creating headings, keywords research, using keywords, dividing the text, obviously graphics, adding your anchor text and links to it, yada, yada. These are basics. I really don't need to mention that. It came out that if people or SEO agencies were simply outsourcing their entire link building campaigns, which they were getting from the brands, on an average, they were saving 320 hours every month. Now, that is massive because if you put that into perspective in terms of labor cost being saved compared to the cost they were paying us, few of the agencies came back to me and they said, Steve, before we guys did business with you and YPress, their link acquisition cost in-house was upwards of £280. Since they outsourced it to us or an agency like us, don't outsource it to YPress. I'm sure there are plenty of fantastic other agencies or platforms out there, but I'm just showing the beauty of identifying where you can actually save cost and scale up massively. So their link acquisition cost from £280 went down to £130. And that was just phenomenal in their margins coming back, scaling up, hiring more people where they knew would be needed. For example, growing their sales team because they were saving all of that money with us. But that obviously took time for me to do the groundwork, because let me go back to the first thing I said at the top of the uh, webinar here. If you look at this, I think we all get these shambolic emails flooding in every hour. Dear sir, dear madam, blah blah blah. I'm selling all of these quality links and all of that. And no one literally opens all of these. We end up blocking them. I do that every hour. So this is pretty much exactly what WordPress does. But what we do is, or what we've created, the need is, yes, it's all shite, but that's where the opportunity was for us, because we were so confident in the business model and the process we had created. And of course, I had to do certain tweaks to our WordPress's platform. For example, having transparency of links and the websites. A lot of the link building agencies out there, they sell you stupid amount of packages. DA35, 5 links, it'll cost you, I don't know, $500. But you've got bloody no idea where those links would be going to. What it does is, at the end of the month, you get 40% where you're kind of happy with it. Rest, they've been indexed by Google, but the spam score on those websites is just tremendous. And what happens is, the next Google update happens and your website tanks. We don't do that. We make sure that on our platform, and we've added these features, there's 100% transparency of which website you'll be linking to. It's got all the matrix, which is your DAs, your DRs, your traffic, your editorial guidelines, which means people who want to build links have got 100% control of doing due diligence on the websites they want to build the links on do projects and campaigns for. But I had to marry all that data, all the groundwork, and the info I got in order to come up with uh, pretty much a perfect offering and a perfect product where people wanted to invest in. But then that wasn't enough. Yes, I had the world's leading all-in-one digital PR and guest posting platform. Fantastic. We got advanced search engine of media outlets. Scoring system for media selection. As I was saying, we do a lot of vetting. As I was saying, all the data for hrefs and all of that. The pricing is there. We've got reporting structures built in there. We come across as the perfect partner. But hang on a second, I was brand new in the market, and I had people never knew, they'd never heard about WordPress. So I came up with quite a ingenious idea. Is the inventory we had, I knew it for a fact that those websites were monetizing their place by kind of selling, decent amount of guest posting spaces, which means other brands would have been doing that for sure. So this is what I did. This is how I did my lead generation, but brand specific. I went on to all those inventories, me and my sales team. I looked at all the other articles which were on their category pages or home pages. And what I did was, I identified, for example, this is an example. This website here, right at the top, Tech Bullion, that's the article, the impact of technology. I looked at the anchor text right there, which is digital birthday wishes. We clicked on it, and obviously it took us to the landing page of whichever that brand was. In this case, it was, I think it's called wildfusion.com. That went straight into my lead generation pipeline. We opened our sales navigator. We identified who's the decision maker. And after that, all we did is we chased them. Email outreach, LinkedIn, phone calls, because we knew they were doing active link building, because the web articles we picked on those thousands of websites, we only took a time period of the last 6 months, which we knew that people were heavily investing in link building at the time I was checking them. And we still do that. And I wish I had a much larger team for sales, but everyone's got their budgets. But we are so behind following up on those leads because we currently have an inventory, just the English market alone, about 14,000 websites. And all of these websites, we still have to crawl properly in order to identify and come back with some more leads. So that was kind of a groundbreaker for me and a game changer that we then started acquiring. And I can take these 3 4 names because I don't have NDAs with them. Your Decathlons, your TikToks, your New Balance, PSG Football Club. um there's another one, uh eToro, Kraken. They're all our clients, which all came across doing exactly the strategy I implemented when I took over the market, is going on to articles, identifying the anchor text, understanding what's the landing page, sales navigator, decision maker, and just slam bang wallop. Make sure that we're chasing them with equally attractive emails. And I'm not going to sit here try and educate people by showing this perfect email template because it doesn't exist. Because there's so much personality we need to add. What I can say is people who do build a lot of email templates, before you send out an email, make sure you're checking out the client's website. You're looking at their abouts page or homepage. A lot of people have got this habit now of boasting about their team culture. So what they end up doing is they start giving out names of who these people are, their job titles, and a brief description. I'm a tennis player, I'm a chess player, I'm this and that. But that's perfect for salespeople because we pick on that. We then devise our email templates based on which is going to hit on their emotional strings. We're talking to human beings. I think a successful sales team and a successful salesperson would only be not because of higher IQ, but because of fantastic emotional intelligence. If you've got that, you are connecting to people at the right time. Trust me, and I say this a lot to my team. For people to start giving them their budgets, they first need to like you. If they like you, they'll trust you. If they trust you, they'll be very happy giving their budgets and their campaigns to you. Moving further, uh, we also added a free nugget to it. And if people we were if with some brands we were having problems of not getting any response back from the first or second or third email outreach, and that's kind of our point where we pivoted. We then did a free basic audit worth £500 for that specific client which we were targeting. We attached a 25-page analysis because I've got a tech SEO team in WordPress, and we were offering that for free, saying this is what we've identified. We're not trying to sell anything. Go through it. I'm pretty sure you guys know a lot of it yourselves. And then we attached a little sample list of the inventory we had. And at least what it did was it got their interest. Because a lot of people make that mistake that when they're pitching to sell. It should be pitching to attract interest. Once you've got the interest, people would then be happy to listen. Sales only happens after the third or the fourth touch point. With WordPress and link building, we very quickly know it takes 6 to 7 touch points for people to actually convert. But those first 5 or 6 touch points are all about creating the impression. They're all about winning the trust. They're all about saying, what's the differential? Why are we better than X, Y, and Z? As I'm saying, this strategy still gives us 53% conversion rate. This is a fact, average within the industry, and you can speak to and check with any link building agencies or platforms out there. It's horrific. It's 29%. So for us to have a 53% conversion rate, what the strategy applied within for the brands was just immense. That's how I kind of grew. What did I do for SEO agencies? There was no way around it, because when brands are outsourcing their link building needs to agencies, you know, they obviously have got contracts and NDAs with the SEO agencies, so they're not going to really reply to us, or it just takes too long. And the beauty with SEO agencies is that the bigger the agency, the more clients they've got. So for them, it was very simple. I had to put myself and WordPress's name out there, which is networking. This is exactly what we did. Networking through conferences, and the ROI was insane, over 400%. And I told my marketing team for a period of 9 months, I said, guys, you're not spending a penny on SEO or on Google Ads. If you actually Google white press, but don't Google white press, try and Google best SEO platforms, best link building platforms. White press does not rank for shit. We don't rank for anything. But I really don't care that we don't rank for anything, because we've got the numbers to prove it. Word of mouth is where we're building. And this networking through conferences, we've been to Brighton SEO, to Chiang Mai Matt Diggitty's conference many times, the Barcelona events. White Press has got, we created our own brand, which is called SEO Vibes. We do lots of the events ourselves. And that brought in all the SEO experts from around the world. We've got something like a brand mentorship, people who trust in our brand and they're happy to recommend us. People like Charles Float, Kyle Roof, Matt Singers, Matt Diggity. These guys all love our platform because they know, what, that one shining light within the messy world of link building is all white press. But that all had to happen is us investing in these conferences and traveling the length and breadth of the planet, putting ourselves out there. And trust me, I've heard brands, I've seen agencies, they've paid $10,000, $15,000 for sponsorship, but there's no booth out there. They haven't sent a single person from their agency to go out there and network before party, after party, coffee breaks, I don't know, right in the morning before the pitches, the presentations kick off. Those 15-20 minutes, which equals to about 2 hours of talking time, when people really have the time to kind of go window shopping, if I can say that, is so valuable. And I started doing that literally from month 2. Brighton SEO was my first conference I was. And as I was saying, we had one client, 400 quid. I got back from Brighton SEO, literally the next month onwards, I was beginning to do £48,000 because I came back, spoke to probably, came back with probably 30 warm leads. 4 converted, but those 4 were enough to give me 48 grand every month. And for me, that was an eye opener. And I was like, brilliant. We're just going to copy paste and make sure we develop this way. And it led to cross brand promotions. We've got partnerships with lots of well-known platforms, SEO tools out there, and we help each other. But people would have only done that if they knew Stephen, if they knew White Press, if he would have been out there, if I had the courage, the skill, the presence of mind to go out there, network, make them like me, make them trust me. So they were happy then to talk about White Press as well. And I think a lot of people, whether it's small business, big business, whatever that might be, doesn't even matter if you're in the SEO space. This is one thing people don't do enough, because trusting another brand or another agency would only happen if you're actually face to face, because inherently human beings tend to trust each other in the first instance if you're actually talking to them, looking in the eye, face to face. But a lot of people don't do that. They all want to get away with Zoom calls, Google calls, and then sit back and hope to get lucky. Now, it doesn't work that way, in my opinion. Let me move forward. As I was saying, to keep clients happy and to get them to use us exclusively, as I said, we started targeting all publishers we had, all the new ones, which is still the strategy. We did bulk deals with all of them, and that made our order completion percentage 90%, which is immense. And if you remember, gents, I was saying it 15 minutes ago, the order completion percentage within the link building industry is a poorly 47%. I can sit here proudly say 90%. But that it's not that we don't have problems. Of course, our publishers come back and say, listen, mate, that anchor text is just a bit too fully optimized, or I'm not going to publish it in the first paragraph. But after a couple of emails or one phone call, they all do it. Is again, we've got those fantastic relations. And that's the beauty of speaking and having relations with website owners in our trade, in our business, is you can get a lot done. If you speak the same language, if they are friendly with you, and you're pretty much scratching each other's back. lastly, this is I've seen a lot, and this was again a a massive issue in the link building industry. When I was doing market analysis, it came out that link building agencies were just being ridiculously silly in charging 100% profit margins, 200, 300, 800%. That was just being nonsense. You can't build a business that way. And we, to be honest, humble double digit margins, and that's what we do. We give good value for money, and I still that's my philosophy. And I think any business owners out there, try not to win Rome in one day. It's a process, gents, ladies. It takes time. You first have to give before you start expecting. So if you want to, buy your Lamborghini after year one, you can perhaps get lucky, but I can guarantee you your next wish list won't be ticked off, because you'll get found out very quickly if you're just horrific in your pricing model out there. You just need to be very sensitive to how the market's reacting, but also, right, what's the level of um, client base you've got, what's the level of trust you got, in order to then start hiking the prices at the best possible time. And as I said, you have to get them to like you. Once they like you, they will trust you. So, in a nutshell, gents, this is a bit about how I scaled my markets within WordPress. It perhaps answers some of the questions you might have had to ask further on, and maybe one or two you've already asked. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, love it, Stephen. I think this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about, being in the trenches, right? How did I connect my SEO agency, Wipe Press, into sales, right? And as I'm listening to you, I'm like you're literally giving us the timeline, how the transition, like what you did, right? So, first you did the research. Where are we? Where are we at? You found the problem within your niche. In your case, press releases, blogs, posting, right? Backlinks, all off-page stuff within the market. So you found, you look for the problem, the gaps that even other that have that people out there, just like you said, just because everybody does it that way doesn't mean you do, right? So you find the problem. Hey, here's the gap. How am I gonna find this solution? And then when you've solved it, one thing that I heard you say, and I've read here lately, is solve it, but systemize it, right? Put it in that process. So boom, you got it now, and you know your recipe. When you put in one end, what's going to come out the other end. And then once you have that, now you have some social proof. Now you, like I said, you walk with some confidence, with conviction, and you stand proud that you're different, not just better. And network, right? What do we talk about? Networking, you know, first go in there to give, right? These partnership, give to solve, like, and they will see it, it will shine, bright, right? Like, finally somebody with some real, authentic solutions to real problems. Like you said, white press, like if you Google the keyword, you won't find them. But as you guys see, you're very successful, right? And he just took us through, guys, the process, like, hey, and we're not talking about years. Yeah, we don't want to conquer Rome in years. We don't want to get that Lamborghini in a year, but hey, we focus on this for 3 months. I gave my team, 9 months, right? And it's very, very tangible, very, like, there's an end date that if you put your head down and we work, we can tie that in. And I love it because it's just best practices, right? Do your research, know the niche, whether the niche is an industry or niche is a service, right? Look for the problems on that. And I think that's what's kind of even made me more like successful is, you know, um, you find these niches that glare after talking to so many people. Like, why are you switching? What is the problem? Hey, there's this, and this. And then I try to offer that solution, make sure I don't make those mistakes. And again, systemize
Systemize it.
it and network.
Correct.
Awesome. I appreciate that, Steve. And I love it how you tie all that in together.
My pleasure. Couple more things I'd like to point out is I see a lot of people on LinkedIn passing on lots of wisdom, and this newest trend which has come out, you should niche down and be the master of your niche. And I was like, hang on a second. If everyone's niching down, there's only one space, one spot at the top. What do the others do? And yes, we're very link building, but I know I need to keep growing. And just to kind of let out a secret, which is still being formulated, I know if I want to grow up to the next target my leadership's given me, just by guest posting and niche edits, it's not going to cut it. So what I'm doing now is we've just literally signed off today. We'll be offering Harrow services, Harrow link building as well. You know, I've got some partners where I'm still getting to know the industry. We will kind of white label it to start with, but once we have the know-how, slam bang wallop, we'll bring everything in-house. But that's kind of, yes, being very proficient in what we're doing, but yet ready to pivot when you realize you need to pivot in order to gain or be where you have to be. I think a lot of people end up making this mistake that they want to be at a spot where their competitor is, but without realizing how much time your competitor took to get to that spot. You know, they just see the front end. They've
Yeah.
got no idea what's been happening behind closed doors. Sometimes my leadership comes back and say, oh, our competitors doing this, we should be doing this as well. And I was like, hang on a second, gents. Do we know what's the revenue they're getting? Do we know how much labor cost analysis? What's the cost factor there? Why are we trying to do that? Do you know what I'm saying? Analysis need to be done. And I think culturally, within the business world, a lot of people follow what the masses do. They get influenced very quickly. When they read the same message the fifth time, their brain suddenly starts functioning exactly the same way. And me being me, maybe I'm a typical Virgo. I don't trust anything until I've actually seen it. Even reading things, you know, in the news, on the newspaper and all of that, people form an opinion. And I say, guys, one person wrote that news. That's the opinion of one person. And that bloke just happens to be sitting in a position of power to publish his opinion to hundreds and millions of people out there. So so you're saying one person changed the opinion of hundreds of millions? Clearly, that has to be Jesus Christ then.
That's right. That's right. Love it. Love it. It's so true, right? Like, guys, don't be like herd thinkers, right? And you never know where your journey starts. I know, like personally, Raphael, you know, where he was 6 months ago in the journey now. You know, Harry's another great example of guys. If you build those relationships, what Harry gives to even his own niche, to even like create his own competitors, but there's Harry's nice and steady. You know, one thing I adopted is like, guys, my sunshine, even if we're in the same niche, even if we're in the same industry, niching down, same surface, it doesn't matter. My sunshine is not going to take away from yours. It's a huge, you know, have that like abundance mindset. I think it's really going to help you um big time on that.
I
So
agree. I agree.
if
I
you have
agree.
any questions, guys, any questions that you might have, let me know. Put it in the chat. Frederick is cracking up over there. uh please let me know. I've never tried. Yes, so I just introduced actually Frederick and Henry are actually in the same niche, and I, you know, those guys, you know, I know will help each other to grow in the different area of the same niche. So love it.
I agree. I agree. We've got pretty much every competitor out in the landscape in the UK market. They're all my best mates.
Yeah.
Whether it's Joe Davies, whether it's, you know, people from Linkology and all of that. we help each other. I think there's enough business in any industry out there to still help each other grow and benefit.
Absolutely. Yep,
It's
absolutely.
marketing. It's digital marketing. Tell me one business in the world which does not invest in marketing. So if you take that money out there within the entire global marketing industry, and then you divide that with the number of people out there, whether it's Google Ads, whether it's off-page SEO, tech SEO, there are just not enough businesses out there to actually fulfill the massive amount of budgets which are there. So community spirit, help each other, learn from each other, and let's grow together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Frederick, you're thinking right on point. I know Raphael does this within his niche, and it's been very positive, super positive, that link circle amongst each other, right? It's the same niche, same category, same, trust flow is good, right? So Google has to like give you, it's not just a matter of getting backlinks to get backlinks. 100%. I agree with that. Love that. So with that said, guys, we're hitting the 46 mark. I want to respect Steven's time. I appreciate you, Steven. This is golden. Guys, pick up what he's putting down, rewatch this, hear it from a different point of view, step back away, listen to the story, listen, and just plug in your scenario, plug in your niche, plug in your service. Listen to the way he went about it, his thought process, right? It's a form of like that thought process. He's not giving you like, hey, do this or do that. He's giving you how to think, and you can plug it into your system, into your process, how you can come up with a winning solution, a winning recipe. Can we get yeah, absolutely, with Terry. Now, guys, let's show some Stephen, those that are watching the replay. Stephen, where can we follow you? Do you have a YouTube channel? WordPress? How can we show you some love and connect with you?
Thank you, mate. So I'll quickly try and put my LinkedIn profile right here on the chat here, so people can connect with me on LinkedIn. And whoever wants to, have a chit chat, knowledge share, happy doing that. LinkedIn's the best way to kind of connect with me. There you go. And then we can, of course, email each other, schedule calls. If you guys, want to do something within the off-page SEO space, or just want to chit chat, want to rant, just having a bad day, no problem, mate. Reach out. I'm happy. We can rant together.
Awesome. Guys, with that said, I appreciate everyone. Stephen, thank you. I appreciate you. Gold here, guys. Definitely rewatch this, listen to it. With that being said, much love, much success, and I'll see you on the next one.
Cheers,
Thank you,
guys.
Stephen.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thanks.
operator.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.